Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports with our football video, and today I'm going over my wildcard predictions for the 2022 NFL season. I will also do predictions for future rounds in this video, but the majority of the video will be focused on the wildcard predictions. I am still in my basement because I'm still filming this Sunday night, but this video will be going out Monday morning, and yeah, let's get right into it. First off, I was going to mention the 2022 NFL playoff picture. In the AFC, we have the Chiefs at the 1 seed at 14-3, Buffalo at the 2 seed and 13-3, Bengals at 12-4 in the 3 seed, Jaguars at 9-8 in the 4 seed, Chargers and Ravens at 10-7 in the 5 and 6 seeds, and the 9-8 Dolphins in the 7 seed. In the NFC, we have the 14-3 Eagles taking the 1 seed, the Niners and Vikings at 13-4 at the 2 and 3 seeds, the 8-9 Buccaneers at the 4 seed, the 12-5 Cowboys in the 5 seed, the 9-7-1 Giants in the 6th seed, and the 9-8 Seahawks at the 7th seed. For those of you who don't know, the Bills and the Bengals will not be playing their final game of the season. Their game was postponed or canceled because of the Damar Hamlin injury. From what I've heard, he's doing better. Hopefully he continues to improve. But for right now, the Bills and the Bengals are playing a 16-game season, and if the Bills and the Chiefs play each other in the AFC Championship game, then it will be on a neutral field. It will not be in Kansas City or Buffalo. But the Chiefs do get the bye week because they played the extra game. The reasoning for the neutral field is because if Buffalo had played the Bengals, they would be able to get home field advantage because they beat Kansas City in the regular season. But they're not playing the game. First off, we have the AFC 2 versus the AFC 7. We have the Bills versus the Dolphins. I have the Bills winning 38-24. I'm unsure about Tua's return for this game. Whether Tua comes back or not, I do expect the Bills to win this game. The Dolphins just have not looked great the last few weeks. Even with Tua playing, the Dolphins have not looked great since they were 8-3. I do think the Dolphins have the potential to win this game, obviously, with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Tua can obviously go off in any week, but even if he plays, I am expecting the Bills to win this one. Moving on, we have the NFC 2 versus the NFC 7, Niners versus Seahawks. I have the Niners beating the Seahawks 31-20. I think that this will be probably the most dominant game of the series. I think the Seahawks are the worst team to make the playoffs. The Dolphins are going to be the worst team if Tua doesn't play, but with their starting quarterback, I think the Seahawks are the worst team in the playoffs. I think the Lions would have been a more interesting matchup for the Niners and potentially able to win, but I just don't see the Seahawks winning this game. The Niners have been unstoppable. Brock Purdy has looked very good in this offense, and the Seahawks just have not looked the same in the second half of the season. Moving on, we have the AFC 3 versus the AFC 6. I have the Bengals beating the Ravens 24-20. I think that this is going to be one of the tightest games of the week, especially if Lamar Jackson is playing. If Lamar Jackson's not playing, I think the Bengals will win handily, but this is a divisional matchup against two very strong teams. The Ravens beat the Bengals earlier in the season when Lamar was playing. The Bengals beat the Ravens without Lamar this week. But I think that if Lamar is playing, the Ravens have a very solid chance to win. But he is coming off of being out for 5 weeks. And even if he does, and he might not even play. Because of those two factors, I have the Bengals winning. I also think that the Bengals have been a much more dominant team since their loss to the Ravens. And I think that they're going to be able to have a very strong showing against them next week. Next up, we have the NFC 3 versus the NFC 6. I have the Vikings beating the Giants 30-23. I think this will be, again, another close game. These are the two teams in the league that like to make the closest of games possible. I think that they probably have the two highest percentage of one-score games in the league. The first time they played each other, the Vikings narrowly won. I expect the Vikings to narrowly win again. I think it'll probably be like 27-23, and the Vikings will get a final field goal or whatever. But I think that it'll be a very close game the whole way through. I think that both of these teams have a legitimate chance to win, although I think that the Vikings have a better team. Neither of these teams are very consistent. The Vikings have lost multiple games by like 30 points, and the rest of their games have been one-score victories. So I think it'll be tight. The Giants will keep it close, but I think the Vikings will be able to pull out the victory, probably with a fourth-quarter comeback because that's what they've done most of the season. Next up, we have the AFC 4 versus the AFC 5. I have the Jaguars beating the Chargers 34-30. Although the Jaguars are the 4 seed, I think that the Chargers will probably be the betting favorite in this one. I'm not really positive. The Chargers are 10-7, the Jaguars are 9-8, but the Jaguars have had a stronger second half of the season. I think that the Chargers will be the betting favorite, but I'm picking the Jaguars. I think that with home field advantage, the Jaguars are going to be able to win this game. Both both Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence have never played a playoff game before. I think it'll be interesting to see both of them playing this week. The Jaguars are coming off of a poor performance against the Titans offensively, but their defense played very well. The Chargers are coming off of a loss to the Denver Broncos, where they played their entire offense and Mike Williams got injured. Because of Mike Williams' injury, I'm giving the Jaguars the edge, although I do think the Chargers' offense will play better, and I think that both of these teams will have good offensive games. I think that the Jaguars will be able to make plays when they need to, and I think the loss of Mike Williams will be felt if he's unable to play. He might be able to play. It was a back injury. They're going to assess it tomorrow, I believe, so he might be able to play. But even if he does play, I think that the Jaguars have more momentum going into this game, and I think that they do have a slightly better chance to win. Moving on to the NFC 4 versus the NFC 5, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 27 and the Cowboys at 22. I think that in this game, the Cowboys are probably going to be the favorites, even though it's in Tampa. Tom Brady has never lost to the Dallas Cowboys. He owns the Dallas Cowboys. I think that he's going to continue to beat the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't think that he's going to have another wildcard exit in the playoffs. He's only had, I believe, 2 wildcard exits in the playoffs, one of them being 2019. I think that he will win this game, even if the team is not the best team in the world, beating the Dallas Cowboys for the spot in the divisional round of the playoffs. In the divisional round, I have the Buccaneers beating the Eagles again, 27-23. I do have the Buccaneers winning 2 playoff games this season. Jalen Hurts is going to be coming off of the bye week after his injury. I think that there's going to be a little bit of miscommunication on the offense. I think that the Buccaneers defense is going to be able to take advantage of that. And I think that although the Eagles defense is very strong, I do think that Tom Brady will be able to turn it on when he needs to. Obviously, the Panthers don't have the greatest defense in the world, but the Panthers have had a pretty solid defense for the second half of the season, and Tom Brady was able to score at will when he wanted to against them. He was also able to put up points when he needed to in games he needed to win in order to make the playoffs, and I think that he's going to continue that streak in the playoffs. One thing, in a lot of my regular season predictions, playoff prediction videos, I did not have Tampa winning a lot of playoff games, but now that we are at the playoffs, I will be predicting Tampa to win more games, as it's very hard to bet against Tom Brady, especially in the playoffs. 49ers, I have them beating the Vikings 40-35 in the divisional round. I think that it'll be a very, very close game. I think the Vikings will make it close, but ultimately, I think the Niners have a better and more efficient offense, and I think that they will win that game. Chiefs, Jaguars, I have the Chiefs winning 37-31. That's just going to be a great game all around. That's going to be a great, high-powered offensive game. It's going to be firing on all cylinders on both sides of the football. I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to have probably 400 yards. Trevor Lawrence might have 400 yards. It's just going to be a phenomenal game. And if that is the matchup, then I'm extremely excited for that one. And Bills-Bengals, I have the Bills winning 31-30. I think it'll be a close game. I think that the Bills will have a 8-point. I think it'll have a 2-score lead. The Bengals will make it as close as possible, but Buffalo will ultimately win the game. Yeah, not much to say with that one. I think that it's going to be the rematch that everyone wants. Obviously, in spite of the Damar Hamlin injury, that's going to be a great game. And I'm very excited if those two teams do play each other in the playoffs, because obviously the game should have been postponed, but it will be great to see them play each other. In the conference championship, I have the Niners beating the Buccaneers 24-20, and I have the Bills beating the Chiefs 40-37. Yes, I do have Tampa losing, and I do have them losing to a rookie quarterback. I'm not really sure where the thread is here. It's just a lot of the playoff prediction videos are just gut feelings. I just have a gut feeling about the Niners. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, a rookie quarterback's never made the Super Bowl before. I think it would be a really cool story, especially if it's Mr. Irrelevant. Especially if it's Mr. Irrelevant beating number 199. That would be kind of the coolest way you could possibly have an NFC Championship game go. I think that the Niners defense is just going to be suffocating. And I think that although Tom Brady will play good enough to win a couple playoff games, I think that at one point in time, the Tampa offense will crack under the pressure, and it will be against this elite Niners defense, who they only put up 7 points again in their first matchup. Bills-Chiefs, I have the Bills winning 40-37 in a high-powered offensive battle. I do believe that Josh Allen, especially with the Damar Hamlin incident, I think that the Bills are going to have revitalized energy to win in the playoffs. And I think that Josh Allen is going to get the help he needs this season. He had phenomenal stats in the games that he played last year. I think he's going to carry over that energy and prowess into the season. I think he's going to get a lot more help from this team. For Super Bowl 57, I have the Bills winning 31-27 over the San Francisco 49ers. I have brought the Bills score down a little bit from my previous prediction, although it's pretty similar. I do think that the Niners defense is going to play very strongly against the Bills, and I think the Bills defense will play well as well. But ultimately, I do think the Bills will put up 30 points. I think Josh Allen will have a very strong game, and I think that Brock Purdy will not be able to keep up against this Bills defense. Not much else to be said there, but these are my final predictions at this point in time for the wild card round and the future. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Comment who you think will win the Super Bowl, who you think will win this week, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.